Unfortunately, that's not reality.
Yeah. All right, everybody. We are live on YouTube. So this is Dad, Dave, and the Elephant, episode number 3. So we've been doing this now for a little over a month. This has been a fun collaboration. And hold on 1 second here. I got to change something. So anyways, we are going to be talking about our most anticipated games for Gen Con. And did I lose everybody?
David, are you bird watching?
No, I think I lost something. So hold on, let me log
Says
back.
It's live.
What's that?
Says it's live.
Oh, okay, yeah, we are live. I'm sorry. I had something else going on. So sorry about that for the technical difficulties. I was getting some kind of back talk.
Close your porn sites, man.
I did. Anyways, so third episode, Dad, Dave, and the Elephant. We are going to be talking about Gen Con, 50th anniversary of that. We're going to talk about our anticipated games, and then we're going to get into a review of Dice Forge from Libellude. So anyways, how have you guys been doing? I know, Tim Bresnan, you took a vacation down to Florida to see your daughter, so fill us in on that. I think he froze. All right, Tim Bresnan, you're going to have to log back in, I think.
It looks so funny.
Yeah.
It's like I was waiting for him to talk.
Oh, jeez. Anyways, all right. So while we're waiting for Tim to join back in with us, Tim Norris, how are things going with you?
Going great, man. I got plenty of entertainment right there. I mean, look at him. Look how
that is the best still shot ever.
It's like he got turned to stone. It's awesome. Been doing really good, man. Released our video on photosynthesis yesterday.
Yeah,
and,
certainly, if you guys want to watch a true, down-to-earth, shill-free review, watch the final thoughts for photosynthesis with Tim, and I'll be posting my review up later on this week, and I don't really want to give anything away on that. We'll just say that we're going to post that up.
I wish Carmen would have been in it with me because she could have balanced me out a little bit, but it is what it is.
Right.
But other than that, man, it's just been work, and trying to get ready for, trying to get motivated for Gen Con. It's going to be so busy and everything. You know, I'm nervous about the crowds. I get anxiety from the large crowds. I really do. And I know a lot of other people do too. And so I guess I'm already starting to feel a little anxious. But I think once I'm there, it'll be all right. I'll have a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm just kind of wondering, nobody really knows the true number of like tickets that are sold to be able to see, like how many people are going to be there, the crowds and stuff like that. And just real quick, Tim Bresnan will be back in a few minutes. So you just talk about your recent games. His computer had crashed, so we don't get a chance to look at him on that silly that thing that he had going on there. It was kind of funny.
Recent games I played, obviously photosynthesis. We played that. Godfather, which is the new one from CMON, which area control game where you're kind of like trying to control the city, and you do that by accomplishing jobs. You take the money you gain, you put it in a little suitcase. Whoever has the most money at the end of the game ends up winning. Of course, there's influence or control of cities you can gain. It was an interesting little game. I know some people say it felt more balanced than what Blood Rage was because of some of the cards and stuff. But I don't know. I mean, it was all right. I always unfortunately suffer from that deal whenever we play games like that. I'm kind of the guy that gets targeted a lot. So I always have just somewhat fun playing those. I feel like I'm just a person there. Champions of Midgard, played with both the new expansions. Wow. What an exciting change and development in that game. Now, Champions of Midgard to me was always, it was a good worker placement, but it wasn't really something that, in my opinion, was like phenomenal or a must-have. These expansions have totally changed my opinion on that game. And I just picked up the base set again, and when I can get my hands on the expansions, I will be picking those up as well.
Yeah, I went ahead and also I ordered a copy of Champions of Midgard. I ended up getting it off of Amazon because most places the current print run is like sold out. And then I also went ahead and pre-ordered the expansions because of how you were talking about what you're talking about, the different options. Now you can go up in the mountains to fight giants, and it gives you reasons to die and stuff. So it gives the game actually a little bit more. It gives it more structure, and it makes the game more of a complete game, is what you were saying.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and just that purpose of dying right there alone was enough, because you're losing characters, but it doesn't hurt or affect you like it used to in the past. I mean, well, it still hurts, don't get me wrong, but now at least when they die, you're able to get benefits from the gods, or the Valkyrie blessings as they call it, and that makes a huge difference, and you can almost strategize an entire game around that.
Okay. Yeah, so anyway, some of the recent games that we've been playing, I've been busy the past few weeks. I usually game on Fridays and then sometimes on Saturdays. The last 2 Fridays I have not gamed, but I've gamed on Saturdays with my friends. So the one I got together with my friend Jeff 2 weeks ago, and we played a bunch of 2-player games. So we gave that Caverna Cave versus Cave a go, and that's a really, really good. I like that one quite a bit. It's got this worker placement without using workers, and it's got some interesting elements to it. I thought that for the 2-player games, it's one of the better ones that's out there. Still, Targi is like my favorite of all of those, but this one it's up towards the top there. I really, really enjoyed it. So I'll be filming a playthrough of that one pretty soon. We played The Fox in the Forest, and I've played that a couple times. That's the 2-player trick-taking game from Renegade Games. Man, is that game fun! And
everything from Renegade Games is golden, man.
Yeah, well, not everything. There's a couple of them that are just okay. Like Lotus didn't wow me. It's pretty, but it doesn't really do a lot for me. And Honshu, I'm kind of lukewarm towards that one. But for the most part, the things that they've released, I am quite impressed by.
Yeah,
and
but I think you and I are both on the same page when it comes to Honshu. It's because we're such big King Domino fans. And to me, King Domino, it's the king of those type of games.
Oh, for sure. But anyways, that Fox in the Forest, though, I mean, if you like trick-taking games and you don't really have a lot of people to play with and you just want to play with 2, that game is really, really, really good. It has an interesting way of how you score. You don't want to take too many tricks. And there's right on the little reference card, you score points based upon the number of tricks that you take. And the neat thing is that the cards numbered from 2 to 11, and all of the odd cards in each suit have different abilities that you can play. And so it changes things up quite a bit. And then, so I like that a lot. And another one we played Dice Forge on Saturday. We filmed a 4-player playthrough with that. So once I get that all edited and rendered, we're going to put that up. Kind of ran long, but it was the 3 other people that were playing was our first time going through, and I forgot to advance the round counter one time. So we played 1 additional round, but really got a chance to show off how it is a family game because played with my niece and nephew, and they're only like 10 and 11 years old. So we had kids and adults playing the game. So I think that viewers will enjoy seeing how that can go into the family. And then the other thing we played, I took Ticket to Ride Markland for a spin, which is what the predecessor to what Ticket to Ride Germany is now that's going to be coming out at Gen Con. So that's pretty much what we've been playing.
Well, you want to get into maybe our Gen Con releases, and then we'll maybe see about Tim coming back while we're talking about this before we do our review of Dice Forge.
Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So, Tim, why don't you go ahead and kick us off in talking about your Gen Con anticipated list?
Tell you what, how about I just do a couple, and then that way I'm not hogging the show for too long, and then that way you can butt in as well. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Okay. The first one I have on my list is a recent announcement. It'll be at booth 2637, and that's for Plan B Games. We know them for Century Spice Road. Now, we did the review on Century Spice Road already here. You know I'm a ho-hum on the fence kind of guy when it comes to the game. I do think it's good, and I think it has a lot of value to it. But trading spices to me is a little bit boring, especially, I mean, we've got to have to, how many games do we have, of Mediterranean spice traders? We have enough. But I don't get enough of monsters. And I could deal with any type of game that gives me monsters, and slaying monsters, befriending monsters, or just monsters in general. And so the Golem Century Edition will be available at Gen Con. I talked with their marketing specialist, Mike Young, and he says that they will have the specialized mats available as well at Gen Con, but they're only going to have like 100 of them. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. They're only going to have 99 of them because Mike's going to make sure he holds on to one for me, right? Because I want to make sure I pick
98 then. 98.
Yeah, this one's probably at the top of my list of a must grab. Number 2 on my list will be for Renegade Games. They do have a super secret game, and I am predicting right now, I bet you that is the newest expansion for Clank. Will be available, and I'm wondering if they haven't announced it because they're not sure if it's actually going to be there or not. I predict it will be. We will probably get this is not official, guys, but I expect that we will see the expansion for Clank, and I want to try out Ex Libris as well. Okay. And they're at booth 2211, by the way.
Yeah. So I didn't write down, well, I did write down one booth number on here, but I'll get to that in a minute. I guess I'll kick that one off. There's a game called Palaces by Guerrilla Games that booth 2655. I
saw that one, yeah.
The deck building game that had some interesting things. And Tim, you and I both, we enjoy deck building games, so that's definitely one that that was on my list that I wanted to check out, at least, go and grab. It seems like it's kind of a smaller game. I think it was on Kickstarter. So that's one that I wanted to check out. Another one over at Tasty Minstrel Games. They're going to be sharing a booth with another publisher. They have a small game called Mini Rails. I've always been intrigued by the 18xx games, but they typically take hours and hours and hours to play. And I guess this distills it down to either buying shares or laying track, and you can play the game in less than an hour. So if I can play an 18xx style game in less than an hour, then that certainly perks my interest. And then another game, Shark Island from Upper Deck. You heard me talk about that in the previous episode. I'm friends with the designer, and he is like Mr. Shark. Hey, welcome back, Tim Bresnan. We'll get you caught up to speed here in just a second. We're talking about our Gen Con games, so if you have your list ready. But Shark Island, anybody that is a shark nut like him is going to put forth an effort, and I think it's going to be putting out a good game. So that one's on my list as well.
While you're on the Upper Deck, they'll be located at 1215 booth, and they also will have the Buffy the Vampire Legendary. Now, I don't believe this is an Encounters series. I believe this is just regular Legendary, but that's going to be one of their big staples as well that I want to check out. Even though I'm not a Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan, I still love Legendary too much to pass up a chance to play.
You're a Buffy fan. We know that. You're all about the Buffy.
Well, Tim, it's up to you, bud. What are a couple of your games you're looking forward to?
Well, I tell you what, pickings are mighty slim this year for Gen Con. First up is probably Professor Evil and the Citadel of Time from Funforge.
There you go.
Now, that's one I know that they had at Origins. I did not really have a chance to look at it much other than in passing, but it looks kind of cool, so interested in checking that out. Also, the Palaces of Mad King Ludwig from Bezier Games. Again, I haven't really looked at it too much, but I like castles, so looking forward to Palaces. Triplock from Chip Theory Games. Again, don't really know much about it, but I've seen the artwork for the last several months. Really looking forward to that. It looks cool. Don't know much about it, but I'm going to dive into that.
I backed that one on Kickstarter, by the way. So I jumped in on that just to support him because it's Chip Theory Games and the game looked pretty interesting. So hopefully I'll get my copy before Gen Con. I think they were supposed to be shipping some out, so we'll see.
Yeah. And then kind of an older game that I'm looking forward to maybe doing a demo on is one of the Academy games, like 1775 Rebellion. I don't know necessarily why, but that's kind of gotten my interest recently, so really wanted to kind of check that out. I know they've got a bunch of games that are very similar, use the similar mechanics, so I'll check one out and go from there.
Yeah, those are really, really good. It's a card-driven war style game. It's like an area control game, and it's got the combat's done with dice. I actually got a chance to play the Vikings game a few years ago, like play testing, and I didn't realize. And you played partners in that, and I didn't realize that my partner was Jeff Stahl, the guy who designed the whole mechanic that's used in that whole series of games, and a super, super nice guy. So
what did I miss out from you guys?
Well, we talked about Renegade Games with their super secret one, Plan B with their Golem expansion. That was all that I had pretty much mentioned. And then Dave, what did you mention again?
I mentioned Palaces, and I mentioned Mini Rails, and then I mentioned Shark Island. Now, I'm sure that all three of us on our list of games are a couple of expansions. Five Tribes Whims of the Sultan. They announced it today that it will be available at Gen Con.
Yep. And the Quadropolis Public Services as well. That'll be Days of Wonder at booth 1619. They will have the Five Tribes and the Quadropolis expansions.
Okay, and then also Cities of Splendor. I know that we're all Splendor fans, so that'll be
from Space Cowboys. Yep.
That'll be right in that same area. It seems like the whole Asmodee group, they have all the individual studios put together now, and they'll have their own individual things. So if you're looking for like Repos or something like that, they'll have their own booth with Seven Wonders, and I think I'm trying to think of what else they have. They're not the ones who do Cult Express, is that, or is that Libelude? I can't remember.
Cult Express is by Repos, if I remember.
Okay. So I know one of my friends had said that there's another expansion coming out for Cult Express, like it has to do with Indians or something like that. I'm not really sure. I didn't hear anything else about that.
You mean Native Americans?
No, Indians.
You're so bad.
I know. So for all the people, I'm not politically correct. So anyways, anything else you guys are anticipated, trying? Anything like games you want to demo, stuff like that? What else is on your list, Tim?
Yeah, here, I'll name off a few of them here, just kind of rapid fire for you guys so I don't take forever, okay?
Sure.
R&R Games will have Dragon Island. I thought that looked rather interesting. Queen Games has a game called Immortals that I thought looked very interesting. I don't know who exactly is doing. It says on the Board Game Geek page, Mondo, but I thought USAopoly was doing the thing, Infection at Outpost 31.
It's both together.
Okay, wait a minute. It's both of them are doing it? They're together, partnered?
Yes.
Okay. Well, all right. So let me take a quick moment. The thing, Infection at Outpost 31, will be at booth 149. And then check this out, because we're all like kids of the 80s. Well, except for Dad. He's like a kid of the 50s.
I'm not that old. I mean, I am old, but I'm not that old. I graduated high school.
At booth 1457, Everything Epic Games, they'll have the Big Trouble in Little China and Rambo. Holy crap! Could we ask for anything more awesome than The Thing, Rambo, and Big Trouble in Little China? This is freaking epic.
And Tim, I just talked to USAopoly today, so I have The Thing on the way.
I have The Thing on the way. You got to bring it to Gen Con so we can play.
Yeah.
Well, I figure, we're going to have one of these shows where we just sit down and we live play a game.
That would be awesome.
And something like that, I think, would be great.
Yeah, because you need to have at least 4 players. So you have to work on cloning yourself and Megan so you can have dads versus daughters in The Thing. So you can have 2 of
Do
each.
you guys have any? You guys have any others that you're talking about?
I got a couple more. Gateway.
I don't want to keep talking and taking up all the time.
Real quick, let me run down mine. Gateway Uprising from CMON, another deck building game.
There you go. Yep.
DC deck building game has a. They just announced Confrontation, which takes like it's going to be like 2 versus 2, so you play partners against partners in that. So it kind of builds off of Rivals, and I really like the Cerberus game engine system, so I'm looking to check that out.
That should be pretty cool. That's a good game. I've enjoyed the DC deck builder.
Yeah, I really like that. It's really simple. Outpost Siberia from IDW. I got a chance to play it at Origins. That's a pretty fun, quick survival game. It kind of reminds me of the Grizzled a little bit.
Hey, and you got to check out that they'll have Centipede for demo as well, and Legend of Korra. Both of those I'm pretty excited to check out as well.
Yeah. What about Custom Heroes from AEG that uses the card crafting system combined with trick taking?
I don't know. I'm on the fence on that one. I'm more interested in the Edge of Darkness. I wasn't a big fan of the Mystic Veil. We talked about that in my review.
Right.
I poo-pooed on it pretty good. But Edge of Darkness, I want to check that one out.
Yeah, if they have it for demo, I'll be willing to check that one out too.
They've got it listed as for demo.
Okay. Immortals was on my list too, Tim.
Yep.
Uses that tower kind of like in Amerigo.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's see. Oh, Ticket to Ride Germany. I want to get the new updated version. And the other thing that I want to try is a game called Museum from Outpost. So, Tim Bresnan, anything else on your anticipated list, stuff that you were looking to check out?
Yeah, AEG is going to be having Oath of the Brotherhood, and that's a game that you and I talked about quite a while ago, but they're bringing it over. So I'm looking forward to checking that out and maybe even picking it up, depending on how I like it, because, you know, selfish plug here, we've got Play Like a Pirate Day coming up in September. So, you know, looking at all the neat pirate games out there that I might be able to acquire, because, you know, I have such a shortage of pirate games. I've got so many pirate games, I've got to figure out which ones I can't play this year so I can play the ones I didn't get to play last year.
Yeah, you'll have to go through that for sure. So, anyways, if any of you guys are fans of the game Lost Cities, I saw that, well, if you purchase a new copy now, they actually have a playmat that you can have that replaces the board, and it makes space for. Last year they had a promo expansion that added a 6th location. So now the playmat will actually hold the cards for the 6th location. So if you don't have, you need to get a new copy of Lost Cities, you might want to check that out. You get the playmat for free.
I just bought a new copy last year. One of the games I think that really, really, really interests me a lot is Greenbrier Games Champions of Hara. That one looks pretty awesome.
I got a chance to play that one back when they kickstarted it. This is before Greenbrier picked them up from, I can't remember the original publishers. They had something set up at Gen Con like 2 years ago. I think they had it there 2 or 3 years ago. It's quite interesting. It's an interesting game. We'll see how much Greenbrier further developed that.
The Calliope Games has one that looks neat. Now, I'm a big fan. I know, Dave, I know you like tile placement games as well. And they've got one called Ancestry. Did you see that one?
No, I actually didn't really get a chance to look at too much with the Calliope stuff. Like they've been having that's in that Titan series, I think, and I don't know, for some reason I've looked at them, but I didn't get a chance to look that further. Who's that one? Is that the one that Eric Lang designed? Is that
I don't know about that.
I can't remember. I can't remember. I know that they've got all these different designers that came in for the Titan series, and I think that might have been his. I'm not really sure.
And then Devier Games, they have Michael Strogoff. Did you see that? Because I'm a huge fan of that one, the Sherlock Mycroft.
Holmes, Sherlock, and Mycroft.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And this one looks like it's about that same size, but it's based upon a novel, and it's kind of like a race, and then you have assassins chasing after you. Looks really interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go over and check that out. I have Barcelona Rose of Fire that I've been having difficulty in trying to get our play group to give that a run. We're supposed to review that one, so I have to make that as a priority to get that set up. But Anyway, so but it seems like, before, right until about a week ago, I don't know if you guys will agree or not, but it felt to me like the offerings for Gen Con were rather lackluster, and then at the last minute, all of a sudden the database filled up with some things that actually perked my interest. But I was like Tim Breslin, I was like you, slim pickings, and still, even out of all of the games, there's like 19 pages. There's still only like a dozen things that I want to check out. So I guess in a way, it's a good thing.
Yeah, I'm hoping that that there's some surprises that have kind of come across.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping as well.
I'm gonna be busy.
We don't need to hear about your personal life there, Tim.
So, well, anyway, so I guess that's about it for Gen Con. I know that the three of us I'm sure we'll all meet up at some point and hang out there at the convention. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in person and stuff like that. So,
did you guys see the? Go ahead. I'm sorry, Tim.
I think we've been invited to the Chip Theory booth for for meet and greet and photo op session at some point.
Nice.
Did either one of you guys look at the Dragonfire game from Catalyst Games? Am I the only one who did homework here? I feel like I'm the only one who did homework.
Feeding off your homework.
Dragonfire?
Yes, it's a co-op. Come on, man. You guys. Bezier will have Whistle Stop as well. I think that looks neat.
Oh, that one, yeah. I know I've been hearing stuff about that.
Played it. It is good. Greater Than Games, Fate of the Elder Gods. They'll have that.
Yeah, I'm waiting for my copy to ship. I backed that one on Kickstarter last year.
Last one, just a shout out to Devious Weasel for Bemused. Boom! Look! I'm done. I will talk no more.
All right. Well, then let's shift gears. Let's talk Dice Forge. What do you think?
Let's start with Dad.
So I've been able to play this several times in the last few weeks, and it's only been with 3 players. It's been the same 3 players, but we have really enjoyed it. And I think part of the reason is because there's some meanness that you can do in the game. And I've found that, and I've been able to exploit it enough that people hate draft the pig cards so that I can't get them.
What was your nickname? What was your nickname, Dave?
Yeah, we're not going there.
What was your nickname?
Show. If you watched Howard Stern's Private Parts, I think he mentions that. But no, it's been a really cool game. Kind of surprised at how fast it plays, especially with 3. We were getting games in probably 45 minutes tops. The turns go really fast. There's something to do on every turn. The dice crafting is really cool, and being able to exploit those the pig cards to really screw with people's dice is 2 thumbs up for me. Both of the guys that I played against, I showed no mercy and no favoritism. I went after both, and it's really great because what that does is it makes the player that has that when it comes up, you get to make them change one of their die faces. So I've been able to be really mean, and when they have their really good die faces come up, make them put a pig face on there, and they can't do anything about it. So they've lost one of their good their die faces, and now they have this this pig face on there. But the artwork on the game I really enjoy. The ease of play, the fastness of play, really enjoy it. Other people that are kind of in our play group that have seen us play it, but they weren't able to get in, they're like, hey, I want to get on the next game. So big hit with my group.
What about you, Dave?
Well, I've played, sorry, I dropped the rule, but I've had a chance to play it just a couple times, and I've only played it with 4 players. But in fact, the last play, we just filmed a live play on Saturday that I'm going to be posting up on my channel, and it was fun because we played the kids. Now, this particular game that we played through, on the playthrough, we explained the rules and everything, and I guess we went a little slower. It was about an hour and a half total length on the video, which I thought was a little bit long, and that was partially we had some technical difficulties with swapping out the die faces. I think we needed to use the power of Grayskull, meaning me, because we had people with fingernails and they were having a hard time popping them off, popping the faces off. But the pig face, I wasn't sure. I was just looking in the rules. I thought that I don't know who chooses.
The person who owns the die gets to choose the face.
Okay. That's what I thought. But yeah, the pigs, I mentioned in our thoughts too, that the game does have player interaction, but it's not like terrible because, even though if that pig does come up, they still get to choose either a sun shard or a moon shard. But obviously whoever is the owner of that card gets to choose either the sun shard, moon shard, or victory points. And so it's it's definitely a fun way to interact with players. We enjoyed the game quite a bit. It's easy. The kids like it. And, for a dice rolling game, and I know that, Tim, you talked about this in your final thoughts for your live play. For a game that rolls, it's all about crafting dice, you get to roll these things a lot. And I think that that's one of the high points of the game is just you get to roll those dice so many times. It reminds me of Lanterns too, where every turn you're rolling dice so that you're involved every single turn of the game. So you're constantly engaged. I think those are some high points of the game.
Yeah, I would agree.
Oh, I think there's a lot more positive going on for this game than you could ever come up with negative. I think the component quality is phenomenal. It's top notch. I mean, they went above and beyond in the production value of this game. I would say the only negative that you can really speak of this game is that the rules and trying to get it set up are very confusing, and it took me forever to just even figure out how to set the game up.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The setup on this can be kind of long, especially when you use a variable setup.
Uh-huh.
But it's I think after you get a few plays though, it's not too bad.
Oh, no. I think once I first figured out how it's set up, that's fine. I was able to pick it up after that. It's just trying to figure it out off the bat was very confusing, the way that the rule book was spelled out. I thought that was the only confusing part. That's what I was getting at. But that's, like I said, that's a stretch for me to try to find a negative in this game. I think it's about darn near perfect, to be honest with you. It's a lot of fun. Like you mentioned, it plays fast. It's just, in my opinion, just flat out enjoyable. I don't really see anything negative about it.
I only have a couple of negative things, and it has nothing to do with the gameplay. It's more of the production value. First of all, the rule sheet should have been revised a little bit better. It could have been organized a little bit better. It's like some information it's not all in one spot. You have to look around through things, and then it's also open to interpretation, it seemed like, on a couple of things. For example, if you get the Elder, there's that one where when you activate him and you can spend 4 gold to get 3 victory points. Can you do it one time, or can you do it as many times as you want? The way that we played it was you just activate it. You could do 1 time per turn. And
yeah, it is 1 time. It's 1 time.
Okay. I do have an issue with production quality. I like the insert. I like the dice. I like the dice faces and everything like that. But the player boards are very, very thin. And also the game board itself, and mine are warped. And in fact, like when we were playing the game, and our final thoughts, and when my video is posted, it's like a telegraph. It's curved up pretty good. I think that I don't know what my video resolution is looking like, but it has a curve to it, and I found that to be a little bit annoying because it was raising up and it was almost flush with the cubes on if I had depleted the resources all the way down.
Mine's the same way, David, and so's my the main board that sits in the center. It actually bows up, so cards can actually slide directly underneath real easy on the little slots that it plugs into. But that's a minor complaint, once again, in my opinion. The
game, though, I think there's plenty of options, with the setup. There's the regular cards. There's the ones that have the regular card, and then there's the ones with the dots for like alternate setup. Of course, in the rule book, they don't say that some of the cards that have dots on there are used every game. That had to do with the setup. I'm sure you guys probably encountered that.
Well, I think all the dot cards are the
they're the basic cards.
Yeah, the basic ones. So your first game, you're going to be using those. and then the other ones you feed in.
Gotcha. Now, let's talk about that for a little bit too. And I know that I'm going to do a comparison to Ethnos because you can swap cards in and out, to change the gameplay experience. And I do like the fact that we can change cards in and out, and it does have a game-changing experience, but it doesn't seem to be as drastic. Because there's so many more cards, like Ethnos, there's only 6 races. You swap one out, and the gameplay is completely different. Whereas this one, if you only swap out 1 or 2 of the cards, it's not as big of a noticeable difference. I don't know if you guys agree or disagree with me on that, but it does still change the game up, so it keeps it fresh.
Yeah, I think this could be by design for possible expansions, because I could really see them introducing new cards, new die faces to put in, and I'm hoping they do come out with an expansion, because I want some more Take That stuff.
Right.
So I can get a new nickname, Tim.
Yeah, Tim Norris. What are your thoughts, Tim Norris?
My thoughts are, I totally want to tell everybody what your nickname is. But I won't, because like you said, it's a family show. I don't know. I mean, I think that truthfully, look, as the game is right now, mind you, this game was sent to me, all right? It's not like I bought it. That wouldn't stop my enjoyment of this game, though. If I had bought this game, I've already played it probably a dozen, if not almost 15 times. Already I have played it that much. And you got to keep in mind, I mean, I do a lot of board games, a lot of reviews, and I play a lot of new stuff. For me to be able to sit down and play a game this much on a game I've already filmed, that tells you something, guys. I mean, look, I understand that we want more creatures. I mean, heck yeah, I do. Why? Because I love the game that much. I want to see more and more, and whenever we like something, we just want more of it. But I think there's enough here to be able to keep you entertained for 20-plus games. And by then, I mean, shoot, you've gotten your money and your value out of this. So, yeah, I've got 0 complaints on this game. I really do.
Yeah. And even now, I did not request a copy or have one sent to me. I actually purchased mine. But the MSRP on here is only $40. So I think for $40, you get your money. You get your money's worth.
I mean, I could find $40 in my couch, man.
Hey, that's mine from when I slept on it.
It's yours from when I was over at your house last time.
So, but yeah, so it was interesting too, because for those of you who do not realize this, the same designer who did Dice Forge also designed Seasons, which is another dice game. And and so the two of the games, they actually have a similarity with the card synergies. I mean, some cards that are really, really beneficial in Dice Forge. So you can try to get certain things that will work together, or you want to craft your dice to have those nice combinations. Like if you get the mirror, the one where you can copy other dice, or the tripler, you get that helmet of invisibility with the ×3, and you can craft your dice. I think that's the real essence of this game that really separates it from everything else that's out there.
And the pigs.
Hey, have you ever rolled the ×3 times the pig? Wouldn't that be amazing? You're like triple times the pig.
That would be cool.
No, but check this out. I have rolled 3 times the 6 money, and I've rolled 3 times the 4 victory points. I played a game, and this is why I like this game so much, because I keep coming up with these neat combos and all this fun stuff. I did the times. I was playing against a friend of mine, and it was just a 2-player game. And it wasn't last Saturday, but the Saturday before. Mind you, I've played this game 2 Saturdays in a row, though. And I got the 4 victory point token tile on one of my dice, and I got the ×3 on the other. And I hit that, and I got 12 points. Now, wait a minute. It gets better. Wait, there's more. There's more. I also had the token with the ×2 multiplier. So I multiplied the 4 into an 8. So I got 24 points off that one roll.
See,
it was amazing.
I think that's
and I hit that 3 times in that game.
And then you probably lost, right? Because
No. I got 48 points just from that combo alone. It was insane and so much fun.
yes.
For me.
Well, I know, like my friend Chris, he managed to hoard that. I can't remember the name of it, but it costs 5 sun and 5 moon shards, and it gives you 1 victory point for each die face that you forge, like a new one. And he had 11 of his 12 faces he had changed out, and so he had 3 of this. So he scored 33 points on that alone. So I thought that was kind of a neat thing to do. I just went on there. There's other ones of neat things with the point grabs, like the Gorgon. You go spend, I think, 3 or 4 sun shards and you're grabbing 15 points. So there's lots of different things that you can do in the game. I do think that you certainly want to get the blacksmith's.
The anvil, right, the forge.
No, the one that allows you to hold more resources.
Oh yeah, the expansion piece.
Yes. And if you're smart, you can try to get a couple of those and starve out your opponent so that they cannot, so that they're resource locked. Because again, with rolling the dice, sometimes and if you're multiplying stuff, like I was rolling some dice, I couldn't do anything, and I had the triple on there, and I'm rolling like 4. I had 12, generating 12 gold on a turn, and I was already full. I couldn't do anything with it. So, but you definitely want to do that. Starve out your opponents, kind of be a little mean and nasty. Tim Bresnan, a little tip if you haven't done that yet, just get the expansions and starve them out.
Yeah, we haven't really gone after the expansion boards that much, at least not in that way. I think they've really only come into play maybe 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, same.
People
same. I don't go
they're
for a lot.
more focused on other things. Like Tim was saying, the hammer or the anvil thing. When you've got gold, you can swap it out there and try to get a bunch more victory points that way.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
But hey, that's another big part of the game. You've got multiple strategies you can employ.
Yeah, and if you can get that 6 gold tile, it only makes sense in my opinion that you go for that anvil right off the bat, because 6 gold. That's half of the gold you can hold anyways. You might as well try to convert some of that onto the anvil.
Yeah,
but
sure.
Once again, that also plays into what Dave was saying. That's why you need the board extension to be able to hold more gold.
Right. Yeah. So, but I think overall, I really think for $40, I do. I will agree that is a steal. I think it's an excellent price point for people for purchasing the game.
They should feel guilty for purchasing that game, because I feel like they just stole from the publisher. You stole from the publisher, people.
Right, and it's and what is it? I think that I forgot what the maximum discount is for because it falls under Asmodee Group, but still, even less than $40, I think that it is a steal for this. For what you're getting, it certainly is an improvement on the dice. The dice crafting mechanic is not new. It came out. There was a game called Rattlebones that came out a couple years ago from Rio Grande Games, but that I don't think ever really took off the ground. Didn't get off the ground.
$34 on Cool Stuff.
$34. Okay, so $34 for Dice Forge, and certainly I will agree that is a great price point for this game for what you're getting.
Is this the first time that since we've started this video cast that we've actually agreed on a game?
I know. I'm scared.
I think so. I think this is one that we actually all we are all in agreement that we all like this one.
Yeah, but I did like Spice Road. I did like it. I'm just saying that I didn't think it was phenomenal or anything. But I love Dice Forge. Yeah. So there's a like and a love.
Right.
Now, I do want to tack on to what we had talked about last time, and that is Yamatai. So I've had a chance to play that actually several more times, and I've played it now with all the player counts. I'm keeping it. It's been a good game. My group has really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed it. For those of you that are interested in learning more, go watch our past show, but just wanted to give an update on that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, my update for Yamatai is I said that I was going to keep it to play with my play group, but it has since no longer in my collection. It has moved on to a new home. I have really been trying to be focused on no room for Jags, and I think that I came to the conclusion that it was just another game. I mean, it's fine, but there's other games that I get the same feeling of playing that I like more, and so Yamatai moved to a new location.
Hey, that's why we've got 3 different opinions on here.
Exactly, but I'm glad that you're.
But only 2 of them are right.
Yeah, mine's wrong. But Tim Bresnan, I am glad that you guys are playing. That you've had a chance to play it several more times with all the player counts, and that's good that your group is playing it. So make sure that play it.
And here's a little selfish plug. So this coming week on Dad versus Daughter, actually we are launching a brand new segment which is called Game of the Week, and basically it's me taking a game, in this case Yamatai, and I'll explain the game, but I'm also bringing in my gaming group, and they're going to be offering their opinions. So looking forward to starting that new segment.
Oh, nice. Will we see Jeff Oakley in there?
No.
Oh,
he's camera shy.
All right. I like Jeff. He's pretty cool. So, but anyways, well, back to Dice Forge. Let's kind of wrap it up and start bringing this episode to a close here with some final thoughts. So, Tim the Dad, we'll start with you. Final thoughts on Dice Forge.
Well, I think we pretty much covered it. It's definitely a keeper for me. It will probably be on one of our upcoming Game of the Weeks real soon, mainly because the group really likes it. They want to play it. So, yeah, 2 thumbs up.
All right, Tim the Elephant.
I agree with everything he said. I think it's phenomenal. Dice Forge to me is an insta-buy. I think you're crazy if you don't buy it. I think that this is stealing from the publisher. It is such a wonderful priced game. Absolutely own it. And I don't necessarily go gaga over a lot of games, people, but this is one I definitely do.
Yeah. And I enjoy this one as well. It's a lot of fun. Certainly a hit for a family. My niece and nephew really, really enjoyed it. Well, I should say my niece did. My nephew, he was kind of like, so on it. But I do think for the money, it's a great value. I'm hoping that there are some expansions that come out. I know that we'll get my money's worth playing it, but I'm not sure after like 20 plays, which still, I mean, how many people play games 20 times anymore? Most people play game 2 and 3, they're on to the next one. But I still think that this one is a good purchase. And so I agree with you guys. This is definitely an insta-buy. Put it in your collection. So
now, since I had technical difficulties earlier, did you guys talk about games you played recently?
We did, but we'll give you the floor to let you talk about stuff that you played recently.
Okay, so 3 recently that I've played. One is Honshu. Let's see, you can see that.
There we
go. That's a nice little card game from Renegade Game Studios where you are kind of building out kind of your own little world. You're drafting cards. You're kind of doing a bidding. Been playing that at lunch actually all this week, and everybody that's played it has really enjoyed it. Another game that just started playing last night with my wife is Kerala. This is a very light tile laying game where you're moving.
Is that from Cosmos?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're moving elephants around. You're drawing tiles out of a bag. You're picking one of those tiles, putting it on your platform. Somewhere you got to have. There's different colors and points. Very light, plays very fast, easy to learn, a lot of fun. And then lastly, we've been playing Ethnos, and I've really enjoyed that. I know you talked about it earlier, but that has been super fun. We've changed things up. I've actually won a game or 2, so that was kind of cool. But that's another game that we can get in over lunch. It's kind of a little bit deceiving, but it actually plays pretty fast. Very interesting mechanic as far as after you play one of your bands down, you got to basically get rid of all the rest of the cards in your hand that other people can draft. So really enjoying that one. So that's my latest 3 games.
Awesome. All right. Well, as we bring the segment to a close, we want to hear from you guys out there in YouTuber land. What kind of stuff are you looking forward to at Gen Con? What are some of the things that you're playing? Have you had a chance to try Dice Forge? Put stuff in the comments. We'd love to hear from you guys. We'll reply back. And so as we wind this down, our next episode will be back after Gen Con. We'll probably have a Gen Con wrap up, and then we'll also share another game with you. So make sure that you check out our respective Facebook pages. I think eventually we're going to start a Dad, Dave, and the Elephant Facebook page. So we'll be able to post some content up on there. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
See you guys at Gen Con. If you happen to see us, come up and say hi.
Hello. Bye-bye.
All right, we'll see you.